And I say there's no such thing as free time. Everything in life costs, even your time. Because everything that you do will get you closer to or further away from your goals. Period, point blank. There's no way around it. So
yeah, you're not rocking with the best. It's been a long time coming that a change gonna come. Yeah. All they gotta do is follow me, man. It's been a long time coming that a change gonna come. Yeah. Know why? To the ghettos, I'm like Barack Obama. Been in and out just like a robbery. Gotta watch old summer. Been Latin, been happening in Dallas. So we ride like ghost hunters. Run numbers like Bumpy Johnson. So the kids won't go hungry. It's lonely out in the streets. Mr. Wind of the junkie. The wind may blow me away tonight. Without a bomber to comfort me. Won't say that I chose this life. This is the life that confronts me. Still I'll be damned if I let them punk me. See these guns, you don't want them. I lost everything but my passion to flow. When it came back, I ain't respect it like I did before. I tried and died, so now you know. The doper that I get, the more I'm feeling broken shit. More money mean more problems than this. Now who wants to be rich? Can I get a show of hands and show of fans? The curse that I can attend like Tony. Feel like I'm still a man, If you would just call my name like Mike, I swear I'd be there with a blunt and the mic to celebrate life. It's been a long time coming that a change gonna come. Yeah, it's music right here. It's been a long time coming that a change gonna come.
peace and power. Once again, this big brother Psyche, and today we're gonna build on the concept of time. Now, I'm not going to get abstract with this ideal. I'm just going to build on the simple premises of properly using time. And you know, one good example I believe is good for looking at when we're trying to understand how important time is that when you commit a crime in a society, when you violate the so-called social contract, one of the first things that they do is they put you in court. And if you lose, if you blow court, they're going to give you time to do. 10, 20, 30 years, things like this. The reason why you're given time, because men of power understand how important time is to acquiring power, to building dynasties. You see, men have used time to make themselves the wealthiest men on the planet. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, men like this. Men have used time to build kingdoms. We can go into people like Shaka Zulu, or we don't even have to look at it from a material wealth concept. Malcolm Little was once a young street hustler. He utilized time to turn himself into Malcolm X. Or we can look at some people like Alexander the Great. According to European history and European scholars, he conquered the known world, that which was known to Europeans at the time, with time. He wasn't even 40 when he controlled an empire that was vast and large. So with time, men establish themselves and set up the things they need to create in life. I'm gonna give you a great example of this. Let's say you commit a crime and you're sent to prison. And you're sent to prison, let's say 25 years. You sent to prison 25 years. You was 17 when you were sent. You had your entire life before you. You have not had any children, haven't been married, none of that. By the time you're released from prison, you're in an age group that makes it almost impossible for you to start a family and start having children with a woman around your age. It's almost impossible because the women that you start to meet in your age group are gonna already had their children, had their tubes tied. They're done having children. They done been married a couple of times. They done went through all these entire processes, and you're just starting your life because you have lost time. So time is extremely important. And I use the prison analogy because if you're in the right mind state, when you deal with something like prison, it teaches you how important time is. Everything is done on a time structure. Everything is based off time itself. Example, you go to eat, you're given a certain amount of time, 20 minutes to eat. When that time is up, it's time for you to get up and go. If you haven't finished your meal, then you're just going to be hungry for the rest of the night. When they get ready to roll your doors to allow you to come into the day room, you have a certain amount of time before those bars close back and you don't have access to your cell again or access to coming out to the day room for another hour or two. You have to move with precision and be aware of time. You have to be very aware. Malcolm X talked about it. He talked about the respect that he had for time. He said he didn't trust a man that didn't own a watch because he didn't respect time. And a man like that, not only don't he respect his own time, he definitely don't respect yours. So these are important things to understand and comprehend about dealing with time. And for the man who is ambitious, who is productive, who is seeking to accomplish something, who is purposeful, and recognizing what his purpose is, he has to be very aware of time from the perspective of how much that he has for himself and for others. It's very, very important to recognize this and understand this, because people in your life, and they don't mean to be malicious with this, but people want your time. They want you to give them your time, and you don't have a lot of time. And people would say things, ingenuous things like, you make time for the things that's important for you. No, you don't. You can't make time. There's only so many hours in a day. You can't make any more time. If I could, I'd make it 30 hours in a day, but it doesn't exist. I don't have the ability to create more time. You can only manage time as best you can, which means you have to prioritize and put first things first. You got to ask yourself what's more immediate, what's important, what can wait. And then you got to put the first things first and then go down the line. And if you don't get to the things that can wait, then so be it. But this is how you have to organize your day and manage your time if you're trying to accomplish something in life. Now, I'm the type of man that believes that everybody exists on this planet for a purpose. Now, many people never recognize what their purpose are and never come to realize what it is. I think we all have the same exact purpose. I can get into a metaphysical, spiritual concept with this, and I guess I'm gonna have to do that. I believe that everybody's purpose on the planet, no matter who you are, what you are, is to manifest God through your character. Whatever ideal and concept that you believe and think God is, whatever it is, think through it in your mind. Your purpose, your reason for existing, is to manifest that in the way that you walk, talk, act, move, manifest it in your person. Now, am I saying that you're supposed to start, that you're going to be this supernatural being creating universes? No, this is not what I'm talking about. But the characteristics that you think of when you think of God. And this is not the purpose of this video. This video is about time, but I have to touch this a little bit about purpose. When you recognize what your purpose is, you cannot allow anything, nothing, to take you off your purpose. Nothing. Your friends, your family, your siblings, a woman, nothing and no one becomes so important that they are able to remove you off of the purpose and the reason that you came into existence for. Nothing. And you have to be stingy with your time. And people are not going to understand it. Many people are going to fall off while you building what you're trying to build, while you're developing what you're trying to develop for yourself. But one of the things about it, you got to understand that you owe this to yourself. I owe myself this grind. And anybody that can respect that and understand that has to be pushed to the left. I owe myself this grind. And this is how I think people have to view this. Young men just starting their journey in life, older men who are starting that journey late, especially men who have been to prison for large amounts of time, men who have been off at war, men who have not had a chance and the opportunity to establish their social footprint. These men have to be very, very serious about their time. I would say, and I learned this lesson hustling. And I'm not going to say what I was hustling because I don't know the statute of limitations on any crime that I've never been charged with. Because I've never been charged with any kind of drug sales or anything of that nature. But coming up, me and my brothers and my close associates in the area and the era that we came up in, we believe we was street entrepreneurs. we tried our best because we were so young. We was too young to get jobs, but we wasn't too young to have to eat. We was hungry. So we did the things that we felt that we needed to do based on the limited understanding that we had at that time to feed ourselves and to look out for the people that we had love for. Anyway, I was vastly unsuccessful in my hustling from the age of 14 to 16 years old. Yeah, I started early. I was extremely unsuccessful. And then an older hustler got out of prison, one who was successful in my neighborhood. He got out of prison. And I had a chance to talk to him, and I asked him a few questions. You know, I told him, I say, man, I've been doing this for 2 years. I'm in my young, foolish, immature mind, I thought I'd be Tony Montana in a couple of years. I thought this was easy money. You know, that's what the TV say. But it wasn't, and it's not. And you're not going to be successful at that unless you have a business mind state, just like anything else. But back to the point. So I asked him, I told him, man, I've been doing this for 2 years. I'm not successful. Nothing has popped for me. And he told me, he looked at me, and he instantly, just on sight, knew what the problem was. He knew what was wrong. And he looked at me and he said to me, he asked me this question. He said, if you have $100 and you see something at the store that costs $100, can you afford it? And I said, yes. He said, no, you can't. I said, it costs $100. Of course I can afford it. What you talking about, taxes? He said, no. He said, if you go spend your $100 that you have on something at the store, what you gonna score with? And I said, oh, okay, because you got to reinvest back into your product. Okay, cool. He said, now, if you got $200 and you see something at the store costs $100, can you afford it? I said, yes. He said, no, you can't. I said, what? You tripping? I got the $100 to buy what I want, and I got the $100 to reinvest in my product. He said, but what you gonna put up? He said, see, because this game is played in 3 ways. You have to be able to purchase the things that you desire, reinvest into your product, but you have to put up so you can reinvest more into the product so that you can watch yourself constantly evolve. He said, you've been stuck doing the same thing for the last 2 years because you're not reinvesting. And I just snapped. You know, that's simple. It makes all the sense in the world when you say it like this. But my young, immature, foolish mind didn't understand that. And then he broke down a few other things to me about how I was spending my time. He told me to let women go, stop hanging out, stop clubbing, stop going out to eat, take the jewelry off. He told me, cause when I said that, he looked at me and knew what the problem was. See, I had jewelry on, I had some Jordans on, I looked clean. I looked rich, but I was poor. I looked wealthy, I looked like I was having things, but I was poor. So he switched this around for me. In less than a year, I was looking poor, but I was really hood rich. I really had money. He switched it, he flipped the dynamics for me, he showed me how to. And one of the things that he showed me was to stop spending time in the places that's not trying to take me where I want to be. He told me to focus. He told me to focus my attention. He asked me, what's your job? He told me, and I don't really like to talk crime too much, but he told me, he said, you can't be a gangbanger, a robber, a drug dealer, a pimp. You can't be all that. He said, pick a job and focus on it. Then once you pick a job and focus on it, you remove all distractions. No women, no anything. I'm 16 years old. I'm in love with females at the time. And he told me no women, no sex, nothing. Put it all aside. And I'm like, no sex? I'm a teenager. Why no sex? And one of the things that he showed me was that women require a lot of time. When you decide to deal with a woman, you are also making a decision to give her the things that she needs. And one thing that a woman needs is your time. She needs it. And this is the contradiction that women have. And women they're not being mean or evil when they do this. They're not even aware of it. But for the most part, no woman wants a busted, broke dude that's not going anywhere and don't want to get anything. No woman wants that guy. So most women would tell you she wants an ambitious, purposeful, hustle-minded man. Most women will tell you that's what she wants. A man that's seeking and acquiring power. At the same time, she tells you she wants a man that can be able to give her quality time. A woman will tell you this. And these two men cannot exist in the same body, because the purposeful, ambitious, productive minded man does not have the quality time that she wants. He's too busy getting it. He doesn't have that type of time. This man, no matter what level he's moving on, this man is putting in. If he starts from ground zero, he has a regular job that he's 9 times out of 10 working 10 to 12 hours a day. He's working on his body, so he has time that he has to work out. He's studying and learning new information. And then that other so-called free time, and I say there's no such thing as free time. Everything in life costs, even your time. Because everything that you do will get you closer to or further away from your goals. Period, point blank. There's no way around it. So when he got that quote unquote free time, he need to be spending that building his business, building his brand. So he's working consistently. And then if he's into a woman, he's trying to figure out a way to give that woman some of the time that she wants, but he can never completely fulfill her. So I tell the average man that's on his grind that he would have to do like that old school cat told me years ago. He got to cut women. He got to cut the club. He got to cut the homies. He got to cut it all. Pac said it in a rap verse years ago. He said, "My eyes on a meal ticket. Let's get this money, motherfucker. Let's get rich, then we'll kick it. All eyes on me." And that's the way you have to go about thinking about this thing. You have to cut off all distractions, because no one is going to understand what you're trying to do. No one is going to be able to see your vision. If they could, it wouldn't be your vision. It'd be everybody's vision, but it's yours. And they not going to be able to see it until you manifest it. So what you have to do is, if you want to be the productive, proactive, ambitious, powerful man, is give yourself time. Peace.
Yeah. You're not rocking with the best. It's been a long time coming that a change gonna come. Yeah. All they gotta do is follow me, man. It's been a long time coming that a change gonna come. Yeah. Know why? To the ghettos, I'm like Barack Obama. Been in and out just like a robbery. Gotta watch old summer. Been happening in Dallas, so we ride like ghost hunters. Run numbers like Bumpy Johnson, so the kids won't go hungry. It's lonely out in the streets. Mr. Wind of the junkie. The wind may blow me away tonight, without a bomber to comfort me. Won't say that I chose this life. This is the life that confronts me. Still, I'll be damned if I let them punk me. See these guns, you don't want these. I lost everything but my passion to flow. When it came back, I ain't respect you like I did before. I tried and died, so now you know. The doper that I get, the more I'm feeling broken shit. More money mean more problems than this. Now who wants to be rich? Can I get a show of hands and show of fans? A concert I can attend like Tony. Feel like I'm still a man. If you would just call my name like Mike, I swear I'd be there with a blunt in the mic to celebrate life. It's been a long time coming that a change gonna come. Yeah. It's music right here. It's been a long time coming that a change gon' come. Yeah. One day it'll be too late to apologize like One Republic. So ask for forgiveness now before you run across me in public. Then again, it's best you be my enemy more than a friend of me, cause I keep my enemies even closer like they kin to me. Sometimes we ride too deep, drinking jam in my CD. Reminds me that I came a long ways from the struggle that life could be. I agree to remind them that the struggle's still on. There's something I'm hype of my own, treat me like I'm sincerely gone. And I am, something like a rolling stone. Wherever I lay my dirty decap is my home. On my arms a mobile microphone that I never leave home without. Traveled the world, now I'm headed back down south like no doubt. It's been a long time coming that a change gon' come. Yeah. It's been a long time coming that a change gon' come. Ain't nothing constant but change. I was born by the river in a little tent. It's just like the Trinity River. I've been running ever since. Nobody told me it was alright to dream. The word was like, excuse my back when I showed up with this rap thing, as if it's like chasing crack cream, like chasing the wind, like trying to chase down my so-called friends from behind bars in the pen. They outlawed me again. For that I doubt if I ever call you again. When I get free, you see how much we be partying then. Nobody's fight like the faithless, so we over 30 degrees below hope. If we ain't hopeful, we don't say shit. It's like being broke amongst the wrong crowd. Your opinions don't send off so loud. You go from being commander-in-chief to being hush mouth. These ain't familiar blocks, this ain't familiar crack rock. These ain't familiar girls on these guys jock that rap a lot. Immoral though, we can never change how the story goes. I forgive me for being told to let the chorus close. It's been a long time coming. That a change gon' come. Yeah, yeah, it's been a long time coming. That a change gon' come. Yeah, yeah, come on. Sam H to God, nigga. Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, man. King of D-Town, man. We back. Value 2. Equip Records, motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, niggas? Talk to me.